example?
Well, anybody like that. I'm drawn to primitives. I like the idea of getting down to the source of what are the confusions and the puzzling aspects of our lives. And all those artists that you mentioned were people who worked on the fringe of the so-called bourgeoisie, and I liked that a lot. I was very drawn to it.
Yes, but is there anything different in our lives than just puzzling aspects?
Yes, great tragedies and enormous dollops of euphoria, if you're lucky. They come few and far between, but they're worth living for when they do happen. But there again, I think you can learn from tragedy, and I think you can. I'm not sure that a bad experience is. In America, they're so keen for you not to have a bad experience. They spend half their lives trying to avoid bad things happening to them. I'm of the impression that bad things are something that really are important to one's life, and bad experiences are not necessarily a bad experience.
Creative juices come from bad experiences.
They do, yeah. That it's you can. I don't think they should be looked at negatively at all.
But on the other hand, you're very at ease on the continent. I always have the feeling that you're sort of continental. You love Italy, for example.
Yeah.
You live in Switzerland now.
Yeah.
What is different from the continent compared to England, for example, for you? Or is it too different?
It's not England. You know, it's. I think it's because the innate feeling of most British is that they come from this idiosyncratically non-travelling island, and I think that they feel that the Britishness carries through so much of their lives that they really at some time want to escape from that sense. We always make a return at some point, though. I suspect one day it'll happen to me. I mean, it doesn't mean that I have a disparaging or derogatory feeling about Britain at all. I love it very dearly. But it's an awfully big world, and I think one wants to sort of see as much of it as possible.
And your best friends are living here?
I have friends living, in fact, I have quite a few living in England, yeah. But there again, I've been fortunate enough to develop relationships throughout the world, you know, which is, in one lifetime, is an extraordinary thing to have happen to one.
But even the one who is the reason for the fact that you have two different colors in your eyes,
yes.
Still your friend.
Yes, very much so. Yes.
So one can hit you in the face and still
be my friend. Yeah, I'm that kind of guy.
Dat is dus het geheim achter het ooglapje van Bowie. Op school sloeg een van zijn vrienden hem zo ongelukkig op zijn gezicht dat de spieren van zijn linkeroog daardoor beschadigd werden. Sindsdien blijft de pupil van het linkeroog permanent open en heeft hij een volkomen andere kleur. En toch is de dader nog steeds een van Bowie's beste vrienden. Het verhinderde hem trouwens niet om ook als filmster naam te maken in zeer uiteenlopende rollen.
Why don't you confess your crime?
I've never led natives. Look, why don't I have a defense counsel? Exactly what kind of trial are you giving me? This whole thing's a bloody farce.
今までの被告の発言は全て記録する必要なし。
Na successen als deze met Tina Turner lijkt Bowie nu dus, na een zeer lange pauze, begonnen aan een nieuwe fase in zijn muzikale leven.
I think it's probably good to step back from one's work for a while and try something totally new. I think it does revitalize your original enthusiasms, and that's what it has been like for me over the last few years. And now that I have ventured back into something that's very personalized, it does seem that there's been a lot brewing, and it is just. Thank God this is visual.
And your son likes this album? Or is he still a fan of ABBA's?
I think he likes, no, he hasn't been an ABBA fan for a long time. And now he's into Irish music. He's into very strongly into Celtic music.
But is his opinion important?
Oh, of course it is. It's terribly important to me. I mean, I guess I guess you want the ones closest to oneself. I mean, they're the ones you really want to sort of like what one's doing, you know?
Yes.
And I think that it doesn't matter if 100,000 people like something and that one's son or wife or best friend says, oh, that was rubbish. I think it's the most demoralising thing in the world, you know?
I'd particularly like to extend my wishes to friend Craig. I know you're watching, Craig, and I'd like to offer something in a very simple fashion, but it's the most direct way that I can think of doing it. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come.
It was quite a surprise to a lot of people that you were suddenly at Freddie Mercury's tribute doing the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah.
It was a deliberate choice, wasn't it?
Well, it was when I was doing it. I mean, it really was something that... I had a friend at the time, a friend of myself, my assistant, long-time assistant, Coco, called Craig, who was, as we were doing that show, was just slipping in and out of a coma and was dying of AIDS.